It is now my pleasure, under the heading of Science-Based Targets, to turn to Yolanda Kakabadse, President of the Worldwide Fund for Nature, WWF, and also one of the long-time companions of this international process from 1992 in Rio right through to here in Paris in 2015. Yolanda, you have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you, Achim. Despite the multiplication of efforts across the globe to mitigate climate change, total greenhouse gas emissions from human activity have continued to increase year after year. At the same time, we are also starting to see signs of change. Last year, for the first time in 4 decades, energy-related emissions decoupled from economic growth. The business sector has increasingly played a leading role, and today, over 80% of the largest businesses in the world have emission reduction targets in place. However, the majority of these targets are not ambitious enough to keep global warming within 2 degrees centigrade compared to pre-industrial temperatures. Acknowledging the willingness of the corporate sector to contribute to decarbonizing the economy and the mismatch between corporate targets and the decarbonization rate required, a number of organizations, including CDP, the UN Global Compact, the World Resources Institute, and WWF, have come together to lift corporate ambition and help businesses pursue bolder solutions for climate change. The result of this collaboration is the Science-Based Targets Initiative. The Science-Based Targets Initiative supports companies to set emission reduction targets in line with what the science says is necessary to keep global warming below 2 degrees. Adopting science-based targets sends a clear signal to policymakers that industry is committed to playing its part in decarbonizing the economy. With the purpose of demonstrating that the corporate sector is ready to embrace a low-carbon transition, we started inviting companies to align their emission reduction targets to the 2 degrees trajectory. Our aim was to get 100 companies to commit to science-based targets before COP21. Honestly, we thought that was an ambitious goal and a real stretch. When the team met in Paris 6 months ago during the Business and Climate Summit, we were already halfway the goal. We are delighted to announce that the concept of science-based target setting has been well received by the corporate sector. 114 companies have committed to set science-based emission reduction targets. Several of these companies have already announced their new goals. IT, energy, retail, food, and beverage, amongst others. We have companies from North America, Europe, Asia, Africa, and Latin America. And some of them as well known as Coca-Cola Enterprises, Dell Energy, General Mills, Kellogg, NRG Energy, Pfizer, Procter & Gamble, Sony, and Thales. The companies participating have combined annual emissions of at least 476 million tons of CO2, equivalent to the annual emission of South Africa. We want to thank all of the companies that have turned their words into action. And thanks to our allies and supporters, including We Mean Business, our partners, CDP, the World Resources Institute, and the UN Global Compact. For companies in this room, we invite you to build on these encouraging signs of progress. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Yolanda, and maybe one day on the stock exchange, the UN Global Compact will become a UN Global company, right? Thank you very much.